Ethan Walker never expected anything strange to happen on a quiet night like this. He lived alone on the edge of a small town, where nothing ever changed except the weather. Most nights were the same. He finished his work, ate something simple, then sat outside to watch the sky. It was the only thing that helped him relax. Stars made him feel calm. They made him feel there was something bigger out there. Something waiting. Something that had meaning. But tonight, he had no idea how close that something really was. The air felt different. A soft vibration hummed through the ground. Ethan first thought it was a passing truck, but the road was empty. The sky above him had one bright point of light, moving fast, too fast, and far too smooth. It wasn't a plane. It wasn't a meteor. The light glided like it was choosing where to land. Ethan stood up slowly, unsure if he should run inside or stay where he was. Curiosity won. The bright light grew larger, then slowed, then stopped directly above the field, behind his house. The ground shook gently, not violently, almost like something powerful was trying to land without hurting the area. A soft, circular glow formed on the grass. Ethan shielded his eyes as a ship, smooth, silver, silent, descended without making even a hint of smoke. It didn't look hostile. It looked almost elegant, like it was designed with care rather than built for war. Ethan's heart pounded. He whispered to himself, "No way. No way this is real." The ship settled on the ground, its glowing surface reflecting the night like a mirror. A door slowly slid open, releasing a wave of light so warm and gentle that Ethan felt safe, even though he didn't understand why. Then he saw her. A silhouette stepped forward, shaped like a woman yet not fully human. Slim, graceful, calm. As she walked down the ramp, the glow around her softened, revealing her face. Ethan forgot how to breathe. Her skin had a faint shimmer, like starlight resting on water. Her eyes were bright, a shade between silver and sky blue. She looked young, but not fragile. There was a quiet strength in the way she stood. Her hair flowed like strands of glowing silk, each movement catching the light. She was beautiful. Not in the way magazines described beauty, but in a way that felt unreal, almost sacred. Ethan felt his heart freeze for a moment. She stopped a few steps away from him, studying him with a calm expression, as if she already knew who he was. Ethan managed to speak. Who are you?" Her lips curved into a soft smile, warm, reassuring, not threatening. Her voice was gentle, with a slight echo, like two tones blended into one. "My name is Aravena. I mean no harm." Ethan swallowed hard. You came from space." "Yes," she answered without hesitation. "And you landed here?" He pointed at the field, unable to hide his shock. "My house? This spot?" She nodded slowly. "I came here on purpose." Ethan blinked. "On purpose? Why?" She looked at him again, as if searching his face for something. Her eyes were full of meaning he couldn't understand yet. "Because of you." Ethan almost stepped back. "Me? I don't even know you." Aravena looked down for a moment, as though gathering her thoughts. "Where I come from, your world appears small, quiet, and ignored. But your actions were not ignored. Your voice was not ignored. You reached far more places than you realize." Ethan stared at her, confused. "What actions? What voice?" She tilted her head with a gentle expression. "You shared messages of kindness. You sent signals of peace. You recorded thoughts about helping others, even strangers you would never meet. You shared them on your world's networks. They traveled, they were heard, and someone like me listened." Ethan felt embarrassed. He didn't think anyone truly cared about the small videos he posted, short speeches, encouraging people to stay kind, to look out for each other, to stay human in a world that was rapidly forgetting what humanity meant. He made those videos more for himself than anyone else. "You saw those?" he asked quietly, feeling his voice shake. "I did," Aravena said, "and not only I. Many across the stars listened to you. They began to understand humans through you. You became a symbol to them without knowing. Ethan felt speechless. His heart thumped unevenly. But why me? I'm nobody special. Aravena stepped closer. Her movements were slow, careful, almost delicate. Ethan Walker. Your thoughts have shaped decisions on worlds you do not know. They made us believe that your people deserve trust, that your world still has hope, and I came because my leaders wanted to see if the one who spoke with such sincerity truly existed. Ethan let out a shaky breath. So, you came to investigate me? No, she corrected gently. I came to meet you. He felt heat rise on his face, unsure what to do. He didn't want to look foolish. But the way Aravena stood, soft posture, calm eyes, almost glowing faintly, made everything feel unreal, like a dream he was afraid to wake up from. Ethan finally asked, You're not here to collect samples or invade, right? Aravena's expression softened again, almost amused. No, we do not invade. And I already know your biology. I know your world's structure. I know your climate patterns, history, languages. I did not come for research. I came because you matter to us. Ethan sat down on a nearby wooden bench, feeling his legs trembling. This is crazy. Aravena slowly lowered herself onto the grass, sitting gracefully at his level. Her presence didn't feel intimidating. Instead, she radiated warmth and calm, like she wanted him to feel comfortable. She watched him quietly for a moment before speaking again. Ethan Walker. I traveled here alone, across light years, not because of your planet, but because of the person you are. Someone who speaks of kindness, even when no one is watching. Someone who helps strangers, without expecting anything back. Someone who believes peace is still possible. His chest tightened. No one had ever spoken like that about him. Not even people he knew. He looked away, embarrassed and overwhelmed. You're giving me too much credit, he whispered. I am giving you truth, she replied softly. The wind moved gently across the field, brushing through her glowing hair. Ethan found himself looking at her, unable to fully understand why she felt so familiar, so comforting, when she was clearly from a world he could never imagine. After a long pause, Ethan asked, So, what happens now? You met me. You saw me. Will you leave soon? Aravena did not answer immediately. She looked at the stars, then back at him, her expression full of something heavy, almost emotional. I did not come for a short visit, she said quietly. Ethan's breath caught. Then how long are you staying? She placed her hand gently on the grass. Her fingers glowed faintly with a soft blue light. As long as you allow me. Ethan felt a strange warmth spread through him. The idea of having this alien stay with him, made his heart race in a way he didn't want to explain. But why? He asked again, voice small. Aravena finally gave him the real answer. Because, she whispered, her voice trembling just slightly. I didn't cross the stars for your world. I crossed them. For you. Ethan felt his entire chest tighten. Her expression was open, completely honest, without hesitation. Like she wasn't hiding anything, like she wasn't playing any game. He searched her eyes, hoping to understand. Why me, Aravena? Why a simple human like me? She smiled softly, and for the first time, her voice carried a quiet emotion that sounded almost vulnerable. Because the universe is wide, billions of voices travel through it every day, but only one voice made me feel something. Ethan froze. Aravena continued, her tone gentle but full of meaning. It was your voice. The way you spoke. The way you cared. The way you hoped. I felt it. I felt you. And I knew I had to find the person behind that voice. Ethan couldn't think. He couldn't breathe. He just stared at her, stunned, feeling as if the world had suddenly shifted under his feet. Aravena leaned slightly closer, her eyes reflecting the moonlight. And now that I have found you, I do not want to leave. The night air felt warmer. The wind slowed. Everything grew quiet. Ethan Walker, a simple man from a simple town, realized that an alien beauty had crossed galaxies just to meet him. Not to study him, not to observe him, but because something in him mattered to her, and he had no idea how much more his life was about to change. Ethan barely slept that night. He kept replaying every second of what had happened. An alien ship landing behind his house, a glowing woman from another world stepping out, her looking at him like she already knew him, her voice saying she came for him, not for Earth, her words echoing in his mind again and again. I crossed the stars for you. How could anyone sleep after hearing something like that? He lay on his bed staring at the ceiling, heart racing with confusion, fear, curiosity, and something he didn't want to name yet. Outside the window, the glow of Aravena's ship faintly lit the field like a soft, blue night lamp. She told him to rest. She said she would stay close. But Ethan kept wondering what she was doing now. Was she inside the ship? Meditating? Contacting her world? Or simply watching the Earth night the way he watched the stars? After tossing and turning for hours, he finally sat up when dawn reached the horizon. There was no point pretending he could sleep. His mind was full. He stepped outside, rubbing his eyes. The air felt cool and fresh, the sky a pale shade of gold. The grass shimmered slightly from the ship's gentle glow. Ethan walked toward it slowly, unsure what he would see. Before he reached the ramp, Aravena stepped out. She looked almost the same as last night, calm, graceful, and glowing faintly, but somehow she also looked softer in the morning light. Her silver blue eyes warmed when she saw him. You are awake early, she said gently. Ethan shrugged with an awkward smile. Hard to sleep when all this is happening. She tilted her head slightly, watching his face as if trying to read every small expression. Your mind is unsettled. I expected that. I mean, you can't blame me, Ethan said, rubbing the back of his neck. You came from space. For me, that's a lot. It is, she agreed with a soft nod. And I am sorry if it overwhelmed you. He shook his head quickly. No, I'm not upset. I'm trying to understand this. Aravena stepped closer. Her presence brought a strange warmth. Not physical warmth. Emotional. Like she made the air feel safe. You will understand in time, she said gently. That is why I came. Not only to meet you, but to help you see what you mean to others. Ethan blinked. Others? What others? Other worlds, other species, other watchers, she said. Your voice traveled far. You shared hope on a world where hope was fading. People listened, Ethan. They felt your words. They changed because of you. Ethan looked away, shy and overwhelmed. I didn't think anyone would care. I just posted small messages to try to help people feel less alone. You did, Aravena replied softly. And not only on your world. Ethan took a slow breath. He still couldn't fully believe this. She crossed galaxies because of something he said online. Something he didn't think mattered. Something he wrote late at night when he felt small and helpless. So, Ethan asked carefully, what happens now? You're here. You found me. What's next? Aravena looked up at the morning sky, her expression thoughtful. Now, I must learn who you are directly. Your actions, your choices, your heart. Words are powerful, but seeing someone with your own eyes matters more. Ethan felt a nervous flutter in his chest. You want to stay here? With me? If you allow me, she said, her voice carrying gentle sincerity. He hesitated. Not because he didn't want her around, actually. He didn't know why her presence made him feel strangely calmer, but because of the responsibility. Keeping an alien on Earth? In his house? What if someone saw? What if the government found out? As if reading his thoughts, Aravena said, Do not fear discovery. My ship can hide. It can bend light and sound. No one will notice it unless I allow them to. Ethan looked at her with surprise. So you can cloak the ship? Yes. She lifted her hand, and a faint shimmer rippled across the silver surface. Within seconds, the ship faded, until it blended into the background perfectly. It became almost invisible. Ethan's mouth fell open. That's unbelievable. Aravena smiled at his reaction. I can bring it back whenever needed. He exhaled deeply. Okay. So that problem is solved. She stepped forward, her voice softer now. Do you want me to stay, Ethan Walker? Ethan held her gaze for a long moment. It was easy to say yes, too easy. But he also knew that saying yes meant letting something completely new into his life, something he wasn't prepared for. Yet when he looked at her glowing softly, calm, honest, he felt something he didn't feel around anyone else. He nodded slowly. Yeah, you can stay. Aravena's expression softened into something warm and almost emotional. For a moment, her glow brightened, like her body reacted with happiness. Thank you. Ethan smiled awkwardly and gestured toward his house. I guess you'll need a place to sit. And maybe something to eat. If aliens eat, I can eat your food, she said. Though I need very little. They walked inside. Aravena looked around the small living room, like she was studying a new world. She touched the back of the couch gently, analyzing the texture. She looked at the family photos on the wall. She leaned close to the window to feel the sunlight on her skin. You live simply, she said softly. Ethan nodded. Yeah. Not a lot of people around here. But it's peaceful. And Chromakid. I like peaceful, Aravena said. Ethan cooked something basic. Scrambled eggs and toast. Aravena watched every movement with deep curiosity. As if simple human cooking was important data. She took a small bite, then closed her eyes briefly. This is warm, soft, comforting, she said with genuine surprise. Ethan laughed. It's just eggs. It is pleasant, she insisted. He felt a strange sense of pride that she liked it. When they finished breakfast, they sat outside on the porch. Birds chirped. The sun rose higher. The world looked normal, but Ethan's life was anything but normal now. Aravena looked at the trees, the grass, the sky. Your world is quieter than mine. Mine is filled with cities of light, towers that touch clouds, voices everywhere. Ethan listened carefully. Do you miss it? Not yet, she said. I wanted silence. I wanted calm. I wanted to see the world of the human who spoke to the stars. Ethan blushed slightly. I didn't speak to the stars. I just made videos. You spoke honestly, she replied. They sat in silence for a while. Ethan felt strangely comfortable with her beside him. It was like she carried a peaceful energy with her. After a minute, Aravena turned toward him. Her expression grew serious. Ethan, there is another reason I came. He froze. Another reason? Yes. Her tone lowered, steady, and careful. You were not just heard. You were requested. Requested by who? She hesitated before answering. By a group on my world who believe humans may be important to the future. They want to see how your kind lives, how you think, how you feel. Ethan felt a chill. You chose me? Yes, she said without blinking. Before I ever arrived here, but you didn't know me. I knew your voice, she reminded. And sometimes, a voice is enough. Ethan swallowed. What are they expecting you to learn? Everything that makes you human, she said. And everything that makes your world worth saving. Ethan stared at her. Saving? You think Earth needs saving? Aravena looked away, her expression suddenly serious and heavy. There are dangers approaching. Not from us, not from your people, but from the void between our worlds. Something is moving. Hungry. Expanding. Silent. Ethan felt his heartbeat quicken. What kind of danger? Aravena shook her head slowly. Not yet. I will explain when it is time. For now, I must understand you. Ethan leaned back, running a hand through his hair. This is a lot, I know, she said gently. He looked at her again, watching her eyes reflect the sunlight. So, You're telling me the universe might be in danger, and you came here to learn from me? Yes. That's insane. True. But it is also true. Ethan let out a breath he didn't realize he was holding. Aravena. What if I'm not the right person? What if you made a mistake? She shook her head slowly. I do not make choices lightly. But you do not understand your impact, she said gently. But I do. And soon, you will. Ethan looked at her, trying to figure out how someone so calm could hold so many secrets in her eyes. She wasn't lying. She wasn't exaggerating. She wasn't confused. She was certain. Certain that he mattered. Certain that she chose correctly. Certain that he had some kind of importance he never imagined. Aravena rose from the porch and stood in the sunlight. Her glow brightened slightly, blending with the day. She looked almost like she belonged there. Come, she said softly. Walk with me. There is more I must show you. Ethan stood and followed her into the field behind the house. He didn't know whether to be afraid or excited. But one thing was clear. His life was no longer normal. And Aravena wasn't just an alien visitor. She was the beginning of something much bigger, something that had already started long before he ever realized. Ethan followed Aravena across the field, the morning sun warm on his back and the cool grass brushing against his shoes. He didn't know what she planned to show him, but the seriousness in her voice made his heart beat faster. Aravena walked with a calm, steady grace, her glowing hair moving gently in the soft wind. It felt like she belonged to the sky more than the ground. They reached a quiet clearing where birds hopped between branches and dew still clung to the leaves. Aravena turned to face Ethan. Her expression was thoughtful, almost careful. Do not be afraid of what you are about to see, she said softly. Ethan frowned. Should I be afraid? No, she answered. But you should understand. She lifted her hand slowly. A soft blue ripple spread upward, forming a floating sphere of light. It hovered in front of them, like a window made from energy. Inside it, stars shimmered, then shifted, forming shapes and patterns. Ethan stepped closer, eyes wide. Is that space? Yes, Aravena said. A real-time projection of regions between my world and yours. The stars zoomed outward, showing bright clusters, dark voids, and swirling clouds of dust. It looked peaceful at first, beautiful, even, but the scene shifted again, zooming toward a dark patch that pulsed with a strange movement. Ethan felt a chill. What is that? Aravena lowered her gaze. A collapse, a consuming wave. We call it the shadow rift. The dark region twisted like smoke underwater, spreading slowly, eating the stars at its edge. Smaller systems blinked out, swallowed silently. Ethan felt his stomach drop. It wasn't like an explosion. It wasn't fast. It was worse, patient, quiet, certain. It destroys everything it touches, she said. Light, matter, energy. Even time becomes twisted in its presence. We do not know its origin. We do not know how to stop it. Ethan stared at the projection, frozen. How far is it from Earth? Far, for now, she said. But it grows. And it does not stop. He shook his head, feeling helpless. Why are you showing me this? What can I do? Aravena stepped closer. Because your world still has time. And because your actions, even small ones, create waves that reach far beyond what you can see. Ethan looked down, overwhelmed. I'm just one person. You underestimate one person, she said with firmness. The projection slowly dissolved, and the air returned to normal. Aravena watched Ethan quietly, giving him time to breathe. He sat on a fallen log, running a hand over his face. This is too much, he whispered. I'm not a hero. I'm not chosen. I'm not anyone important. Aravena knelt in front of him, her voice soft but steady. Importance is not given. It is created, and you have already created it. He looked into her glowing eyes. You really believe that? Yes, she replied without hesitation. Ethan tried to swallow the lump in his throat. The idea that galaxies watched his simple videos, that alien worlds changed because he spoke about kindness, felt unreal. He had never imagined being a guide for anyone. Not even on Earth. After a long moment, Aravena rose and extended her hand to him. "Walk with me. There is more to understand." Ethan stood and followed her deeper into the clearing. As they walked, he noticed her studying everything: the leaves, the insects, the breeze. She moved with quiet fascination. "You really like it here, don't you?" he asked. Aravena smiled softly. "Your world is peaceful in ways most worlds are not. It has small joys, quiet moments, simple truths." Ethan chuckled lightly. "Most people say this planet is messy." She shook her head gently. "Every world is messy. Yours is also kind." They reached a rocky spot where sunlight filtered through tall trees. Aravena sat on a smooth stone and invited Ethan to sit beside her. The moment felt strangely calm after what she'd shown him. "There is something else I must explain," she said quietly. Ethan stiffened. "Something worse than the shadow rift?" "No. Something more personal." He waited, heart pounding. Aravena looked away for a moment, gathering her thoughts. When she turned back, her eyes held a soft vulnerability Ethan had never seen before. "When I heard your voice for the first time," she began, "I was in a moment of difficulty, a moment of doubt." Quote, Ethan blinked. "You? Doubt?" "Yes," she said. "Even on my world, not everyone feels certain. I had lost someone important to me. I felt alone. Our leaders asked me to study new worlds, to find reasons to believe there is still balance in the universe. I felt unprepared until I heard you." Ethan's breath caught. "My videos did that?" "Yes," Aravena said. "Your words reached me when I was at my weakest. You spoke of hope when I had none. You reminded me that kindness still exists, even in places far away." She smiled faintly. "You healed something inside me." Ethan felt his chest tighten suddenly. "Aravena, I didn't know. I was just trying to help people who might need a little encouragement." "And you did," she whispered. "More than you realize." She turned her hands palm up, and soft light spread across them. Ethan watched, confused, until a new shape formed above her palms, a memory projection. It showed Aravena standing alone on a balcony made of crystal-like metal, looking at a silent city glowing beneath 3 moons. Her expression was cold, distant, painful, until a faint sound played. Ethan's voice. "Sometime, all you need to do is breathe. Take one moment, one step, one thought of kindness, and everything begins to feel lighter." "I'm go." Ethan felt his heart squeeze. The memory projection faded. Aravena lowered her hands. "You see?" she said softly. "Your voice reached a heart you never knew." Ethan rubbed his eyes. He felt overwhelmed, but not in a bad way, in a way that made him feel seen. "I don't understand," he whispered. "Why me? Why would you travel across galaxies? For someone like me?" Aravena took a slow breath. "Because you gave me hope when I had none. Because you helped my world understand humans. Because your kindness changed the path of many choices. And because..." She paused, her voice becoming gentle and warm. "You made me want to see the human behind the voice." Ethan felt heat rise in his face. He had no idea how to respond. This wasn't affection like a fan stopping an actor. This was deeper, like she had studied his soul long before she saw his face. Aravena looked toward the sky. "There is another truth. One I have not told you yet." Ethan felt his stomach twist. "Another?" "Yes," she said softly. "A truth about why I needed to meet you in person." He braced himself. "Tell me. Tell me." Aravena looked at him carefully, as if unsure how he would react. "There are many individuals in the galaxy who want to understand humans. Some admire your species. Some fear it. Some wish to help you. Others, Wish to decide your fate without ever meeting you. Ethan frowned. Decide our fate? Why would aliens care about Earth? Because humans have potential, Aravena said. Your species evolves quickly, learns quickly, changes quickly. You surprise even yourselves, and you do things other species would never attempt. Ethan exhaled slowly. So, they're watching us. Yes, and you came to represent them? No, Aravena corrected, with a gentle firmness. I came to protect you. He froze. Protect me? A soft breeze moved through the clearing. Aravena's glow brightened slightly. There are voices in my world who believe humans are unstable, she said quietly. Too unpredictable. Too emotional. Too dangerous to be allowed into the larger galactic community. Ethan felt a shock travel down his spine. They want to keep us isolated? Some do, she said. Some want to control you. Some want to avoid you. And a few want to remove the threat before it grows. Ethan swallowed hard. You're saying some aliens want to wipe out humans? Aravena placed a gentle hand on his arm. Not all. Only a faction. But they influence decisions. They whisper fears. They spread doubt. And your voice silenced some of those doubts. Ethan felt dizzy. You said things we needed to hear. Aravena continued. You showed us that humans are not only destructive. You reminded us that your kind can also build, heal, forgive, and rise. And that's why you came? He whispered. No, she said softly. I came because if your world is ever judged, I want the judges to know who humans truly are. Not the fear, not the danger, but the truth. Ethan stared at her, stunned. And you think I can help with that? I know you can, she said. Because your words already changed minds. And your heart will change more. Ethan didn't know what to say. His life, which yesterday revolved around quiet evenings and simple routines, now felt connected to stars, factions, and decisions far bigger than Earth. Aravena stood slowly and reached her hand toward him again. Come, there is one more thing to see. Ethan rose, still shaken, but a strange determination forming inside him. Whatever Aravena wanted to show him next, he knew it would change everything. Ethan followed Aravena through the field. The sunlight warm on his back, he didn't know what to expect, but the calm in her movements and the soft glow around her made him feel strangely safe. Every step he took felt heavier with anticipation, like the world itself was waiting for him to arrive somewhere important. They reached the edge of the field where a small hill rose. From there, Ethan could see the town in the distance, quiet in the early morning light. Beyond it, the forests stretched endlessly. The place seemed ordinary, yet with Aravena standing beside him, it felt sacred. Aravena turned to him. What I am about to show you will explain why I came and why your world matters more than you imagine. Ethan's heart raced. He had already seen the shadow rift in her projection, but something told him this would be more personal. She lifted her hand, and a gentle ripple of energy formed in front of them. Like a soft curtain of light, the light shimmered, then resolved into images, real and moving, showing moments from Earth's past, present, and possibilities for the future. Cities, forests, oceans, people helping one another, people hurting each other. But also acts of kindness. Small gestures that mattered more than anyone realized. Ethan watched, stunned. These are moments from Earth? Yes, Aravena said. Moments your species chooses to create. Your small actions create ripples that reach farther than you know. Some will be lost in time. Others will be remembered. And some will reach across the stars. He saw a young girl giving food to a stranger. A man comforting a frightened child. A scientist saving lives with discoveries no one else had attempted. A boy speaking up when injustice threatened to overwhelm him. Ethan's chest tightened. Each act seemed simple, yet together, they formed a story he had never noticed. A story of courage, hope, and humanity's potential. These are humans, Ravenna said softly. And this is why I am here. To understand, to witness, and to ensure your kind is judged fairly when the stars look toward you. Ethan swallowed. Fairly? Yes, she said. Some believe your species is too dangerous. Some fear your unpredictability. Others do not know the full scope of what humans can create. But I know. She placed her hand on the projection, and it shifted. Now, it showed Ethan himself. Posting videos, helping strangers, encouraging kindness. His small gestures, unseen by most, had been recorded in countless places across the networks, spreading hope like tiny sparks. Ethan felt a rush of humility and wonder. I never thought any of that mattered, he whispered. It does, Ravenna said softly. And it matters more than you realize. You have touched hearts across worlds with your simple honesty. He looked at her, eyes wide. But why me? Why my actions? Because you speak without fear, she said. Because you show empathy even when ignored. Because your voice carries sincerity that transcends distance. That is rare. Ethan Walker. That is why I traveled across light years for you. The morning wind blew gently. Ravenna's glow seemed to blend with the sunlight, and Ethan felt a strange sense of calm settle over him. Everything he had ever done, every simple attempt to make someone's day better, every video he had hesitated to post, had mattered in ways he could never imagine. Ravenna stepped closer. You may feel small, insignificant, or unsure of your place in the universe. But every life is a star, Ethan. Every choice is a light that can reach beyond your world. Ethan felt emotion welling up. And you're here to make sure the right people see that? Yes, she said. I am here to ensure that when judgment comes, the universe sees humans as we see them, capable of greatness, of kindness, and of hope. Ethan nodded slowly. The weight of it all settled in him. He was just a human. One person in a vast world. But now, he understood that even one person could change something. Even across the stars, Ravenna extended her hand toward him. Come closer. There is one final thing to understand about your potential. Ethan stepped forward. The projection shifted again. This time, it showed a vision of Earth in the future, bright and vibrant. Cities that respected nature, communities helping one another, people from all backgrounds working together. He saw a world where humans reached for the stars not with fear, but with curiosity, courage, and compassion. This is possible, Ravenna said, not because of any single invention, not because of power, not because of leaders, but because of individuals like you, because humans are capable of choosing kindness, courage, and truth, even when darkness surrounds them. Ethan's eyes filled with tears. I never thought I could matter like this. Not to anyone. Not to the stars. You do, she said firmly. And you always have. Sometimes, people just need to see it reflected back to understand it themselves. He looked at her, overwhelmed but inspired. So, what now? Now, Ravenna said, her voice calm but full of certainty. We prepare. We continue. You will continue to live your life, but with understanding that every choice, every action, is a ripple, and you will help others see that. Slowly, quietly, but with purpose. Ethan took a deep breath. I think I can do that. Ravenna smiled softly, the glow around her eyes gentle. I know you can. And I will be here, beside you, until you understand the full extent of your influence. For a moment, they stood in silence, the wind carrying the sounds of the world around them. Birds, leaves, distant voices, the soft hum of life. Ethan felt connected in a way he never had before. Connected not just to his town, not just to the planet, but to something far bigger, to the universe, and to the alien standing beside him who believed in him. Ravenna finally spoke again. There will be challenges, dangers you cannot yet see. Shadows approaching that wish to test your kind. But you are not alone. Humans have courage. And you have hope. Ethan nodded slowly. I'll do my best, I promise. She extended her hand once more. This time not for projection or demonstration, but as a gesture of trust. He took it, feeling the warmth of her presence, the quiet power of her belief in him. You are ready, she said softly, ready to show the universe what humans can be. Ethan's chest swelled. Fear was still there, yes. Uncertainty, yes. But beneath it, a quiet determination grew. He understood now that life was bigger than just himself, bigger than the town he lived in, bigger than the planet. And he understood that kindness, courage, and truth were stronger than he had ever believed. The sun rose higher, casting golden light over the field, over the town, and over the two of them standing together. Aravena's ship gleamed faintly behind them. Silent, but ready. Ethan looked at it and felt hope. Not just for himself, but for humanity. This is incredible, he whispered. It is, Aravena said, and it is only the beginning. Ethan glanced at her, feeling gratitude and awe. I never imagined my life could matter to anyone, let alone someone like you. Aravena smiled softly. You are more than you realize. And now, others will see it too. He felt a surge of courage. Then I'll make sure they do. For the first time in his life, Ethan Walker felt that he had a purpose bigger than himself. That his simple acts of kindness, his voice, his hope, and his courage mattered across the stars, and that with Aravena by his side, guiding and believing, he could face whatever came next. Shadows, challenges, unknown dangers, and help shape a future where humanity's light could shine brightly among the stars. They walked back toward the house together, the quiet hum of the ship blending with the morning sounds of Earth. The world felt different now, alive in ways Ethan had never noticed. He knew life would never be the same. He knew the universe was watching, and he was ready. And for the first time, he truly understood that sometimes, being human was the most extraordinary thing in the entire galaxy. The adventure was far from over. But Ethan Walker, ordinary man with an extraordinary heart, and Aravena, alien from across the stars, would face it together, standing firm, holding hope, and proving that even one person could change the course of countless worlds. And in that moment, Earth felt alive with possibility. And Ethan understood that his life, once quiet and small, had become a beacon for all who needed to believe in courage, kindness, and the power of a single human heart. The morning wind carried their laughter lightly across the field, a sound that seemed to ripple through time and space itself, a promise of hope, a signal of change, and the beginning of a story that would reach farther than either of them could ever imagine.